Good evening and welcome to Friday Night Firelight. Well, kind of like the familiarization cruise if you're going somewhere, right? This is like the test show because we're 14 days out. 2 weeks from today, 2 Fridays from today, we'll be doing the first Friday Night Firelight. So we're just ironing out some of the kinks, giving you an idea of some of the things that we have in store for you as a part of Friday Night Firelight because you may have heard, we'll be doing this outside. And thanks to our good friends at Firebugs, we'll be doing this outside alongside of a Firebugs fire pit using the natural ambiance of flames and smoke and everything else to light the set. And of course, our other sponsor, Nutrient Survival, we'll be hanging out with them, cooking some really great food because, be honest, does any food taste as good as it does when it's cooked out over an open flame, which will absolutely be a part of Friday Night Firelights, brought to you by Firebugs. And as I said, Nutrient Survival, I need to thank both of them very much. And their addresses will be down in the comments or wherever it is below this here on YouTube. So here's what we're going to do. Friday Night Firelight is going to be about rekindling the very best parts of yourself. And I say to our guys all the time, what will the flames say to you? But we didn't want this to be a straight broadcast, a straight podcast. We wanted it to be an invitation for you to come and join us. And Wayne has worked it out in such a way, thanks to our good friends at Wirecast, who we're coming to you live via Wirecast. Our friends at Wirecast have set it up along with Wayne, so we can send you a link. You can log on and show us where you are alongside of your fire pit. So when you hear me talk about kindred, when you hear me talk about let's do this together, we're going to be able to highlight you. You can come in as a podcast guest, if you will, sitting from in front of whatever fire you is in, right? Whatever fire you're in the area of, you'll be able to come and broadcast live with us. Now, in addition to that, we're going to have all kinds of experts. I got to tell you, I'm loving this whole bushcraft concept, right? Because it makes us think on our feet. So one of our segments, and we call that segment Neural Savvy, one of our segments will be interviewing some of the top bushcrafters that we can find. We'll be interviewing chefs to teach us how to cook over the open flame. We'll be interviewing experts in bushcrafting skills. As I say, I like the idea of the audible, of the impromptu, of facing the moment at hand and given anything that may be lying around you. In martial arts, you would call it weaponize your surroundings. Given the different things that are lying around you, how to record, how to put those things into action so that you can make sure that you're thriving, not just surviving. And we're going to have an Art of Ready segment brought to you by Nutrient Survival. And that Art of Ready segment is really, what are you doing to be prepared, come what may, right? When you're knee deep, and it'll never happen to me, when you're waist deep in, out of the blue, or all of the sudden, what are you doing right now to prepare for those happenstance? So, as I ask all the time, when you can't call on anyone else, can you call on yourself? And that will be one of the segments of Friday Night Firelight. And of course, probably the one nearest and dearest to my heart is the concept of Mortal Up. Because remember, as I was recovering throughout my 5 surgeries to deal with a golf ball-sized brain tumor, I spent a good bit of time. I spent hours, countless hours, alongside of my Firebugs fire pit, using the flames as a Rorschach test, if you will, and using it to try to hone my own mettle, to steel my own resolve, to keep fighting back. As we used to call it, as Brian battles back, I would spend hours alongside of the Firebugs fire pit learning to do just that. And born out of that was my understanding that we need to unlock our primal. In this day and age, everything's automatic. And it's caused our muscles, both mental and physical, to atrophy. It's caused us to, our refrigerators, our thermostats, our remote controls, our wireless this, our wireless that. Well, the beauty of a fire pit is it takes us back to our primal ancestry, as I call it, Mortal Up. And Mortal Up is really nothing more than figuring out how to do the deep down you. the deep you, the you that sits at your core. Because I believe, and we're going to be able to prove in Friday Night Firelights, that a lot of the depression, a lot of the anxiety, a lot of the things that are suicides for that matter, a lot of the things that confront the human mind now are because we don't challenge ourselves. We don't get out there and explore. We don't get out there and push the envelope. We don't get out there and act like the tip of the spear we were born to be. So Friday Night Firelights is just rekindling that primal, giving us all a sense of what it meant to be before we were coddled, before we were socialized. I talk a lot about your alter ego. And all the alter ego is really your alpha. When you hear me say, look, you better let your alpha out or you're going to pay the piper. All the alter ego is there comes a time, right? There's that fork in the road where we're supposed to grow up and the ego's supposed to surrender its control. Well, what happens? The ego goes, hey, I'm kind of digging this. Like he's like a puppet dictator. I'm kind of digging hanging out here. So the heck with the alpha. You just stay there. So be happy with your training wheels and your water wings and your safety nets. Well, the alpha, just because it wants to survive, goes underground. Jung would call it your collective unconscious, if you will. Our alphas go underground, and they're just bullied into submission by the ego. So with Mortal Up, we're going to figure out exactly how to go in. It's a rescue mission, if you will, an archaeological dig. We're going to go in and figure how to get your great out into the light of day so that in life you can thrive and you can run the table like you were put here to. So here we go. We're again 14 days out. We'll be back with you throughout, but February 3rd, which is a Friday, we'll be doing live from the Firebugs Fire Pit. Oh, and listen, we'll be closing in. We're going to do what's called, from Nutrient Survival, the 5-day reboot. And let's see, Wayne helping me with math. We're going to do the 30th, the 31st of January, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. But on that 3rd, we'll be finishing up our 5-day reboot from Nutrient Survival so that when we get ready to launch the show live from alongside of the Firebugs Fire Pit, I'll be eating the very last morsel of my 5-day reboot from Nutrient Survival. And then we're going to get ready to go through it all. Like I say, Neural Savvy, the Mortal Up Minute, the Art of Ready. But honest to goodness, just as important, I can't wait to see the people that log in and show me. You can send pictures, you can send video, you can send audio, but we would love to see your fire setup. What are the flames saying to you in your home? And we'll be able to share that all together. So thank you very much for listening in. Again, 14 days out, February 3rd, probably 9 Eastern, unless the group collectively goes, that's a bit early or that's a bit late. Because don't forget, we're doing this outside. I'll be sleeping outside Friday night so that Saturday morning I can record a quick little video, right? As my wife says to me, she goes, you're just looking for an excuse to sleep outside under the stars. Yeah, she outed me. What are you going to do, right? But we'll be recording Saturday morning to show you how Friday night went. But this is going to be a family camping extraordinaire, and we call it Friday Night Firelight. So thank you very much on behalf of everybody here at the crew at Mortal Up Productions, and of course, Nutrient Survival and Firebugs. Thank you so very much for joining me. We will see you in the interim, but most certainly we hope that this will serve as an invitation for you to join us on February 3rd, probably 8 or 9 Eastern, right here on YouTube. Thank you so very much. We'll look forward to seeing you February 3rd for Friday Night Firelight.